So Brahman is the meaning of the words of Vedanta, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Vijnanam, Anandam. So these words are there and they reveal Brahma. Linga Pratyaksha Samshraya. But then, Linga, now the point is that any padartha or a word is able to convey a meaning only when there is an association with either inference or perception. So words such as Ghata. So when I utter the word Ghata, when would the word Ghata convey the knowledge? If you already seen it, or if you can infer about it, then alone a pada or a vakya, pada or a word can convey the knowledge, not otherwise. Kinche padarthatvam brahmana bruvadaha. And if you say Vedanta, if you say that Brahma is the meaning of a word like Satyam, Jnanam, etc., Siddhanta Hani, then your own Siddhanta there will be Hani. Your Siddhanta will be also questioned here. Aite abhipratyatvam vatike Agamaika pramanatvat na padarthatva nishyate. Since Brahma is the object of knowledge of Vedas alone, Brahma cannot be the object of a word, an ordinary word, because it can only convey the object which can be known by pratyaksha, anumana, etc. Brahma vakyam iti angikarat padarthatva dosha abhavaha. But if you say that Brahma is converted as vakya, then this dosha of being padartha is not there. This is what the Siddhanti will say. Siddhanti will say that Brahma is conveyed by the Vakya. And therefore, this dosha that is involved with padarthatvam is not there. Nacha kriyapada bhavat pada asamhatihi. And we say that it is not that the Vedantas do not have kriyapada. Vedanteshu abhi Pratipadya Anuguna Kriyapada Upagamat. In Vedanta, Pratipadya Vishaya is something that is existing and therefore the Kriyapadas also reveal that which is there. So Asti or Asmi are also verbs. It is not that the verb always involves some activity. Asmi, Asti, so Ghata Asti, let us say, then there also is a Kriyapada which reveals the existence of Ghata. So also when you say Tattvamasi, you are Brahman, that Asi also is a Kriyapada which reveals the fact about you. And so that is conveyed to you. So it is not that a sentence can be called Vakya only when it involves Kriya. It can be Vakya if it involves any Kriyapada, any verb. So this Asti, Asmi, etc. are verbs of being and not verbs of becoming. So there are two kinds of verbs. Verbs of being and verbs of becoming. Now we are distinguishing between verbs. So Vedanta now says, look, there are two kinds of verbs. One is the verb of becoming, other is the verb of being. So this kuryat, kriyeta, bhavet, syat, kartavyam, all of these fall in the category of becoming. Asti, asmi, all of these falls in the category of being. So Vedanta deals with the Vakya. Vedanta consists of Vakyas which involve the words of being, and therefore they reveal an existing fact. And so Vedantas are pramanam by way of revealing something that is a fact, and Karmakanda is a pramanam that also reveals something which is there, but which may require something to be done. So it says Vartika, asyasmityabhipetatvat naivamapyo vadyate. Asi, asmiti, abhipedatva. That asi, asmi are also verbs, and therefore you cannot say that vakyatvam is not there. There Vedantas are also vakyas. Yadva vakyasatvam angikritya padarthatvam anangikara parastam. Alright, when you accept Vedanta as vakya, then we don't have to answer the questions about padarthatva. Okay. Alright, then now we'll go back to the Bhashya. So, the Purva Paksha is the answer also is given. But Purva Paksha Padarthatveja Pramanandar Vishayatvam Ataha Asadeta Richet. Therefore, Etat Asat, what is Asat? Brahmanaha Shastrasatvam Etat Iti Uchate. That Brahma, now Purva Paksha concludes this Purva Paksha that if you, as you say, Brahma is the meaning of a word, then as much as word can only convey something that is existing, and what is existing can be known either by perception or inference, etc. Therefore, Vedantas again cannot convey Brahma because if Vedantas are words, then also they are not Pramanam to reveal something that is Anadhikatam. Okay, this is a Purva Paksha. In short, Vedantas are not Vakyas, and if we say therefore they are not Pramanam, if we say that Vedantas are words, therefore they are Pramanam, then they cannot be Pramanam for something that is not known to you. They only can reveal something that is known to you. This is Nayayika's view also. That the Shruti also can be called Pramanam provided it is in keeping with the logic. They say that if what the Vedas say also is not in keeping with your reasoning, then you don't accept Vedas as Pramanam. So ultimately they accept reasoning alone as Pramanam. We say no, Vedas do not serve the purpose of reasoning. Reasoning has to serve the purpose of Vedas. So what happens is, therefore we provide them reasoning also, which that is called Anukula Chintanam or Anuguna. That is the Chintanam or reasoning in keeping with what the Vedas says. So rather than understanding Vedas in keeping within the framework of reasoning, we will on the other hand bring about a reasoning within the framework of Vedas. That's all that the Vedantas did. And that's how they came up with all the reasoning that was required in order to clarify, those misconceptions. Okay, now says Anandagiri, Karya Asprushtyarthe Vakya Pramanyam Drishtantena Sadhavi. Karya Asprushte Arthe. Karya means Anushtayam. So even though Vakya does not involve any activity, then also that Vakya is Pramanam, it is Drishtantena Sadhayati. For that one Vakya is given here to show how Vakya can be Pramanam even though Vakya does not involve any activity. Says Bhashya, Na Asti Merur Varna Chatushtayopetaha Ityeva Madau Ananushtheyepi Vakya Darshana Nacha Merur Varna Chatushtayopetaha Ityeva Madi Vakya Shravane Mervadau Anushthayatva Buddhi Utpadyate. Says no, that's not right. That there are only sentence statements which involve Kriya. Asti Meruhu Varna Chatushtayopetaha. That there is a Mount Meru having 4 colors, So Mount Meru, there is a Mount Meru having 4 colors. This is what you know only from the Vedas. Iti eva madau ananushtheyepi vakya darshana. Now when you hear this, what happens? No activity generated in you. It just gives you knowledge that that is Mount Meru, around which the whole universe is supposed to revolve. So according to this concept, Meru forms a dhari. It forms a very axis around which the whole universe revolves, including sun and moon and all the planets. Everything revolves around Mount Meru, and therefore Meru becomes then the center. So what will become your north direction? That which so wherever you are, when you point to Meru, that will become your north direction. That is why east also is accepted to us. You see, the world rotates around sun. And therefore, wherever you are, when you look at sun, that becomes the auspicious, that becomes the north direction. So in that sense, when we do some Shubhakari, either you face north or you face east. So you face north according to the local north, but when you face east, you face the universal north in as much as the world revolves around sun. And therefore that becomes the axis of revolution, and therefore you should look there at the very source. So at the very source when you look, then that is where the inspiration is. Anyway, so when Shruti reveals this object such as Meru, iti eva madhu ananushtheyepi vakya darshanat. When you say that this vakya is not a pramanam, it is a vakya which gives me valid knowledge, and therefore, even though it does not involve a verb of doing, it still is a valid knowledge. Says Anandagiri, Shukla Krishna Lohita Mishra Lakshanam Varna Chatushtayam. Shukla, white, Krishna, black, Lohita, red, Mishra, mixed, Chitram, so mixed color, variegated color. Varna Chatushtayam, Tachameru Ekasmin Dig Vibhagena Drashtavyam. In different directions, the 4 directions, the Meru appears different, Even if you look at Mount Kailas, it will look different, at different times. Suppose it is completely covered by snow, and then when it reflects the light of sun, depends on where you are standing and at what time you are standing, it will look different. So that is how a mount, will reveal. And here, of course, what is meant is that Mount Meru is made of Suvarna or these kind of precious metals, and therefore it reflects light differently from different angles and different directions. And therefore that mount appears of these different colors. Tad Vishishto Meru Asti Ityadi Prayoge. So when you hear it stated Asti Meru Varna Chatustayo Vedaha, then you understand that there is a Mount Meru having the endowed with these 4 colors. Then footnote number 10. Meru Asti Ityadini Adina Yatha Savarna Rajapakṣābhyam Suparna Gadi Vihangamo Atyadbhuta Darshano Dvipantara Asti Prayoge. Somebody else may tell you. Dvipantara Asti, in another island, this is another Atyadbhuta Darshana Vihangamaha. There is a wonderful bird, So there is a wonderful bird in another island. Because Earth also is an island. That is Saptadvipa Vasundhara. So there is one island surrounded by ocean. Another island surrounded by another ocean. Third island surrounded by yet another ocean. So there are 7 oceans and 7 islands. And that is the whole creation. What we see is only one island, surrounded by one ocean, which is this salt water. But there are salt water and sweet water and milk and honey and ghee and madira, wine, all of these oceans are there. So Sapta Dvipas are there. So in another Dvipa, so wonderful bird is there. Savarna Rajata Pakṣābhyam Suparna Gati Vihangamaha. So that Vihangam, that bird is there having golden and silver wings, in another island. Suppose when such a statement is made, then also Patatrini Akaryavi Asti Pakshiri Shabdad Utpadyate Samyak Jnanam. Then also from that statement you understand that there is such a wonderful bird in that island. Alright, so Tad Vishishto Meru Asti Ityadi Prayoge Mervadav Akaryevi Samyak Dhidarshana. Thus in such objects as Meru etc. Akaryevi, even though they do not involve Karya or activity, Samyak Dhidarshana. But then Asti Meru Huidi. So why that word? Samyak Dhi, or the true knowledge is created. In short, here is an example of a statement which does not involve a verb of becoming, it involves a verb of being, namely Asti, and still also it is valid knowledge. Then Tattvamasi also is a sentence or Vakya which involves a verb of being, and that also should be considered as valid. Tattvamasi Vakyādapi Karya Aspraste Brahmani Samyak Jnana Siddhi Ityartha. Therefore you would accept that even in Brahma, which is revealed by statements such as Tattvamasi, even though it does not involve any Karya or any doing, still it is a valid knowledge, because Tattvamasi also is a Vakya. Just as Asti Meru is a Vakya, so Tattvamasi also is Vakya. Drishtantevi Karyadihi Vakyadhi. He says, no. When you hear Asti Meru, then some Karyadhi or some doing arises in me. So Vasya Nacha Merur Varna Chatustayo Peda Hetyamadi Vakya Shramane Mervadu Anuscheta Buddhi Utpadyate. When you hear about Meru, no Anuscheta Buddhi, no activity is generated in you. And similarly, when you hear that I am Brahman, no activity is generated in you. All activity cease, in fact. Any activity that was born of ignorance will cease. So, because ignorance goes, and so that Brahma I am, that does not generate any activity, that doesn't make it a praman. No tatra kriyapadadhina padasamhiti yukta vedanteshu punah tadabhat padasamhate yogat padavakya pramanatvam brahmanah or pramanakatvam brahmanah. Since there, asti meru, etc., there is a kriyapada called asti, but in Vedanta there is no kriyapada, so how do you say that Brahma is the object of or the Vishaya revealed by this Vakya? So Bhashya says, Tatha asti pada sahitanam Parameshwaradi. So we read this sentence. Tatha asti pada sahitanam Parameshwaradi or Paramatmeshwaradi Pratipadaka Vakya Padanam Visheshana Visheshya Bhavena Samhatihi Kena Varyate. Tatha, similarly, so Brahmana Vakya Sattva, that is okay. So similarly, just as in case of this Meru, the valid knowledge arises, similarly also Asti Pada Sahitanam Paramatmeshwaradi Pratipadaka Vakya Padanam, similarly also these Vakyas which involve such Kriyapada as Asti Pada Sahitanam. Asti means is. That Pada means word, that word Asti means that Kriyapada. So those Vakyas pertaining to Paramatma, Ishvara and other such matters which involve the verb Asti and such other words. Vakya Padanam Visheshana Visheshya Bhavena Samadhi Kena Varyate. So you cannot say that it is not a Vakya, that the different words are not properly connected to one another by such relationship as Visheshana, Visheshya, etc. They are connected, and therefore you cannot say that they are not Vakyas, and you cannot say that they do not reveal knowledge which is valid. Okay. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Śāṅkaram Śāṅkarācharyam Keshavam Bṛhadāraṇyakam Sutra-bhāṣya krutau vande bhagavantau punah punah. Ishvaro Gurūratmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Eva Devaha Jayasa Asuraha Taeshu Lokeshvaspardhanta Deha Deva Uchuhu Hantasuran Yajna Udgīthena Chayamedi. Yesterday, the point that was discussed is the Prabhakaramada Ananushteyatve Sati Vakya Pramana Anuvapattihi. Said that a Vakya should necessarily convey something that is to be done. The subject of Vakya can properly describe that which involves doing something, and it also creates in the listener and a response in the form of doing something. This is what the Prabhakaras believe. In the process of analyzing how the knowledge takes place in the human mind, different thinkers have presented different opinions. There are some variations in opinions. All of them are very great people. Of them, Prabhakara has presented, in his school of thought, has presented this opinion that Vedas, and therefore in general, in our Laukika Vyavahara also, that the way that what creates knowledge or what conveys something to us is a Vakya, is a sentence. That a Shabda or a word cannot convey anything new. A word can create a flash of knowledge in us, all right, but it cannot convey anything new, because a word can only convey something that is existing. You can describe something that is existing, or you can always express your ideas in the words which are also known to the listeners, and therefore it calls for a previous knowledge, and therefore a word as such does not have anything new to communicate. Like ghata, pata, matha, all these words are there because the objects are there, and because the objects are already known to us, and therefore those words are able to convey whatever they are able to convey, those particular objects. But when something new is to be conveyed, a vakya or a sentence conveys something new to you which you do not know so far. Bring a pot. Well, this is something new to you. Now, never bring the pot, fill up the pot, change the pot. That is called vakya. Then some knowledge is conveyed into you, or some idea is conveyed to you that a pot is to be brought, is to be filled, is to be taken, or what it is. Thus a sentence can communicate to you something that is to be conveyed. And therefore a sentence should necessarily convey something that is not already known, and therefore it should always convey something that involves some doing. That there is a pot, that's fine, but that is otherwise known to you also, because an object such as a pot is already known. So a sentence that there is a pot, no big deal about it. That means it is not a pramanam in as much as pot is already known to you. And therefore when I say that this is a pen, it is a sentence alright, but it is not a pramana vakya in as much as it is already known to you. And therefore any sentence which has such verbs as is, etc., is not a sentence pramana vakya in as much as it does not convey anything new to you. But when I say, take this pen, then it becomes pramana vakya in as much as now you have been told to do something, and therefore then you follow the instruction or whatever. And so they say that a vakya can convey something to you only when it involves doing something, and therefore those kriyapadas or verbs which involve the idea of doing something alone will be what we call the valid statements. Even the Vedas also, which are the statements that are considered to be pramanam, only those statements which convey the idea of doing something. And how about those statements which talk about some existing things, such as Br.I, they also talk about the barley and whatever it is, because they are used in the yajna. They are all to be connected with the main sentence of Vidhi or Nisheda. Inasmuch as in Vedanta there are no such vakyas which convey any instruction or whatever it is, therefore we say that Vedanta does not enjoy vakyatvam, meaning that inasmuch as a vakya can be considered pramana only when it conveys a new idea. Inasmuch as Vedanta merely conveys ideas or entities such as Paramatma, Ishvara, Brahma and Jagat and whatever, which are already existing entities. And if it is an existing entity, it should be known otherwise how would you talk about it? How can I talk about something to you which I may have seen, provided I have seen it? So if I go to Timbuktu and I see variety of things, then I can talk to you about them. But when can the words be employed? When I already seen, meaning that already the knowledge has been gained by other means of knowledge other than words. But then when I propose to you that how about having a trip to Timbuktu, there is something new that is being conveyed. And that will create in you a response. If you think that it is something desirable, it says yes. If you say it is not desirable, no, or whatever it is. And so this is how they say that a vakya in which involves what? Kuryat, kriyeda kartavyam, bhavet syaditi panchamam. Kuryat, may it be done. So may you do it. Kriyeda, may it be done. Kartavyam, this should be done. Bhavet, let it be so. Syat, may it be so, whatever, So this is the kind of thing. This is what will be called a vakya. Where vakya conveys not only these words, but these tenses, any verb having these tenses, or when you join this bhu and as, etc., then it becomes vakya, because it conveys to an idea which is otherwise not, you don't have it. Therefore Vedanta, if you say that Brahma that Vedanta conveys Brahma, then please answer this to us. That is Brahma communicated by Vedanta through what we call Vakya, or is it communicated through what we call Shabda or the words? If it is Vakya, then the statements of Vedanta do not qualify to be classified as Vakyas, inasmuch as they do not have such verbs as Bhaved, Syad, etc. So these verbs not being there, the statements of Vedanta do not qualify to be classified as Vakyas. And therefore, they are not Pramana. And if we say that Vedanta conveys Brahma through words, then we say that words have the capability of conveying something that is existing. Words do not have capability of conveying something new unless they are connected to a verb. Only when a word is connected to a verb, then if ghata is connected to bring, then ghata becomes an object of to be brought. In that way, something new about ghata is conveyed. See, when we say that bring the pot, then something new about the pot is known to you, that pot is something to be brought, Or when you fill up the pot, then something new about the pot is known to you, that pot is something to be filled. Otherwise, you know it as pot, alright, but some peculiarity about the pot is conveyed or revealed when it is connected to a verb, and then alone a word is able to communicate something new, not otherwise. So when can a word become pramana? Only when it is associated with a verb. And that being the case, single words such as Brahma, Paramatma, Ishvara, Jagat, Jiva, etc., they do not convey anything because they can only convey an existing entity. And what do you know about it? Suppose Brahman is not known to you, the word Brahman doesn't convey anything to you. And if Brahman is known to you, then if it conveys nothing new is known to you. Therefore, how can the words convey? And therefore they say that either way Vedantas cannot communicate Brahma. If you insist that Vedantas are Pramana because they are part of Vedas, and that Anushtayatvam or that something to be done is not a criterion for Pramana, then we say that Vedantas are not Pramana because the sentences of Vedanta are not Vakya and the words cannot convey anything new anyway, and therefore Vedanta cannot convey Brahma. So this is a very fundamental attack. These are very important things to be understood in life also, in our own communication. Then Bhashyakara says, Vedanta is always, they know something which those fellows do not know. Therefore, the whole idea is that there can be something existing and still unknown to you. Not only that, that is okay. If it is unknown, then there is no problem. When you see it, there can be something existing about which you have false notion. This is a very peculiar case. That here is a man, you are talking to him all right, and you think that he is a Krishnamurti and he may turn out to be Ramaswami or somebody like that. In that case, you are entertaining about that person a Brahma or a notion. In that case, a word or merely a sentence of being conveys something that is Ajñāta Jñāpakam Pramanam. What is Pramanam is Ajñāta Jñāpakam. That we accept. That is unknown is made known by that which is called Pramanam. Therefore, this person you think you know, but in fact you are entertaining a notion or a Brahma about that person. And when I say this is not Krishnamurti, this is Ramaswami, then that Brahma is removed, and that is how a new knowledge has taken place. So we say that even these sentences having only verbs such as asti, etc., can also, asti, bhati, whatever, they can also convey something new when you are entertaining Brahma or false notions about even an existing entity. Therefore they say that even Vedanta does not reveal existence of Atma. Existence of Atma is known to us, meaning Atma is. But what does Vedanta do? Vedanta removes the Brahma or the notion that we entertain about Atma. That Atma is a Jiva, that Atma is a Samsari or whatever, those notions are removed by Vedanta. In that sense, Vedanta is Pramanam, and not that a totally unknown Atma is made known to them, but a wrongly known Atma is correctly revealed by them. In that sense, Vedanta is Pramanam. So, Pramanya Vedanta is somewhat different from that of Karma Kanda in as much as Karma Kanda reveals the Swarga which was never known to us. But Vedanta reveals Atma which is known to me alright, but about which nevertheless I entertain notions. And in that sense, even the Vakyas, even the statements having such verbs as Tattvam Asi, Aham Brahma Asmi, Asi, Asmi, these are the verbs of being. Verbs describe something that is existing, even they also become pramanam, inasmuch as they remove the notions and therefore create in me knowledge of that which is unknown. Oh, you mean I am free? Unknown to me. You mean I am alright? I am pure? I am happiness? I am, something that just creates in me surprise every time I am told. Even though I am told 100th time, Because again, after 99 times, that idea comes back to me. I cannot be. And again I am told, every time it's a surprise, every time is something new. As long as that goes on, so long Shravanam should go on. That's what they say, As long as the surprise keeps coming, and so long, we should continue with this. When the surprise does not come, then no more the words of to convey something new, because it's already known to me. In that case, words of no, now, nothing new to communicate. As long as words create in me some kind of response, so long I know that I should continue this. How long should I do this? So long. And when now I know what they are talking about, then you may do it if you it for fun, for your pleasure, or you need not do it because you already have the pleasure without doing it also, whatever it is. But then, so this is a point that is being made here, that even the verbs such as Asi, Asmi, even the sentences having such verbs can be pramana vakyas and as much ajñāta jñāpakatvam pramanatvam, that pramana is that which conveys something which was not known in that sense, so these vakyas also convey it. So even though the example given is Merur, Asti Merur, Varna Chatushtayopetaha, that there is a Meru who has these four kinds of colors, etc., and there is pramana, it is not really pramana in the same way that Tattvamasi is a pramana. Arham Brahmasmi is a pramanam. In that sense, that Meru, this Vakya is not pramanam. However, this example is given here that this Vakya, that they will dismiss it, They will right now they are listening to it all right, they will find out some other way of dismissing. He is not happy with this. But the argument is given here, Asti Meru Varna Chatushtayopetaha. There is this Meru, this great mountain having these four hues or whatever. So this kind of a sentence is good. These statements are also there and they are also pramana. And therefore, there is no stheta buddhi. When I hear there is Meru of such and such description, doesn't create in me any kind of buddhi, because you cannot achieve that anyway. If you hear, see, that's why this Meru example is given. If the Vakya was about Swarga, then they will say, wait a minute, when you hear about Swarga, that arises a new idea, I want to see it. Something like that. Maybe in somebody's mind that also idea where I want to see Meru. In which case they will say Anusthayatva buddhi, or a buddhi of doing something is created. Therefore it is pramana. If it doesn't create any response in you, when it describes things and no response is created, then it says communication is not fulfilled. Communication is fulfilled when some response is created in the listener. And what kind of response? Of doing something. Kuch bhi nahi hota hai, that means what? Nothing is happening. If nothing is happening, no communication has taken place. And so, because you are not excited, that's all right. Sometimes it happens in Vedanta classes, some people tell me, Swami, some people are so smart that they know what next sentence Swami is going to talk, So why don't you come to the classes? Because Swami, I already know this thing. And I know what Swami is going to say. And if that is the case, then there is no thrill involved, there is nothing involved there. In that case, there is no point also. So they say that when you hear about something which doesn't create that, what's the big deal about it? It's not pramana. But we are saying that this Meru Varna Chatushtayopetaha Asti, that does not create in you any response in terms of doing something, and still it is Veda Vakya, the Pramana Vakya. Therefore, again the idea is conveyed here is that there is no need that a Vakya should necessarily create in you a response in terms of doing something, and then alone it is Pramana Vakya. Such a rule is not there, and therefore, so it is Asti Pada Sahitanam Parameshwaradi Pratipadaga Vakya Padanam Visheshana Visheshya Bhavena Samadhi Kena Varyate. Therefore, even the Vakyas having asti as the verb, Paramatma Ishvara Pratibhādika Vakya Padanam, such words as Paramatma Ishvara and those padas, the words which are associated with the Vakya having verbs such as asti, etc. Visheshana Visheshya Bhavena Samhati Kena Varyate. Who can say that these words are not connected to those verbs and that it is a sentence communicating an intelligent idea? Who can deny that? Nobody can deny. Meaning that a sentence, even having such words as asti, asmi, can also be vakya and can be a pramana vakya which cannot be denied. But it is still denied naturally, because as I said, doesn't create this meru, etc., does not create a new, any kind of a response. They say that it is not a pramana vakya. Then it is to be understood as serving some other purpose. That is how they accept Vedanta vakya. Vedanta, according to them, is classified as Swartha Tatparya is not there. So, it's nice to know I am Brahman, but what is to be done about it? That is it. You keep telling me you are Brahman, you are Nitya Shuddha. That's okay, but what should I do about it? That's what he will ask you. And similarly there is Meru, so what about that? That's the next question. Sometimes people keep giving you long stories and you say, what is to be done about it? Because we want to know what is the purpose behind. And what is the purpose? Purpose is when there is something to be done. So what? What does it mean? Do we have to invite him? This such and such a person has come. So it has come. He has come. So what? Does it mean we should invite him? We should visit him? We should avoid him? What should we do about it? Otherwise, so whenever somebody tells us something, we always wait for all this description now. What is to be done about it? Isn't that so? This is what you'll discover. When people talk to you, you always wait. What is now going to follow? So when somebody tells you something, everybody expects that now somebody is now going to tell me to do something, When some people come to you, they know there is nobody, he has come to me with a specific purpose. So even when there are preliminaries, how are you doing and what is what? They don't pay attention to that. They wait for the main thing to come. And it's all right, but why have you come? What was the need for you to come? There was some need, And only when that need is conveyed, then you are satisfied that all right, that at least you have known what is to be known. So this is also our common experience. That we find that there is a satisfaction of akanksha or expectancy in me only when I understand what is to be done about it. Otherwise that expectancy remains. Sometimes people come, talk about 1 hour and go away and say, why did he come? Why did he say all these things? In class also it happened. Why did Swami say these things? What was the reason for that? So then we connect things. There must be then mind connects. Some reason must be there. I think because mind has to connect. Everything must have a purpose. And purpose must be for me. Because I am being told. So everybody in the class is being told, and therefore there must be purpose for everybody. That being the case, everybody has to connect. So you connected with some event 7 days ago, 10 days ago, whatever it is, or something that has happened, I think this has connection with that, and therefore this is what it means, and so he means that, and so he means that, and that is how it goes on, So anyway, this is how the mind works. Very interesting. So see how they have actually studied the mind, and how it works, and how it responds to any communication. But anyway, if this does not happen, then communication has not fulfilled itself. You have the satisfaction of having said something, but they don't have a satisfaction of having listened to it unless there is some phala, some kind of a result is there. And this is what they have to say. So next sentence says, page 84, says Vimatam Aphalam. What is Vimatam? Vimatam is Brahmajnanam Aphalam. That which is now a topic under discussion, or which is now a question here, debated. Vimatam Aphalam. Brahmajnanam Aphalam. We say that Brahmajnana has no result at all. Meaning, it is nirarthakam. It is meaningless. Siddhartha Jnanatvat. That's all. Siddhartha Jnanatvat. Because it conveys only knowledge of something which is already there. And they firmly believe that there is nothing to be accomplished by knowing something that is there. It's general knowledge. That Australian Prime Minister is so and so. It's general knowledge. Nothing more about it. And therefore general knowledge is not classified as pramana because doesn't convey anything to you. If by knowing about, then you can answer a certain question in examination, then it's okay. That's why in India we always read that which has some relevance to the examination, because we are brought up in this tradition that something must be done about everything. And therefore a child also or a student will study what? That is connected to the examination. Which portions will you study? There is a potential of examination, some questions, etc. Then there is a purpose in your mind. Reading about Australia, who cares about Australia otherwise? Why should you read about what crops are grown in Africa? We were wondering when we were children. Why do they teach us this kind of thing? What mountains there are in South Africa and something, what does it matter? Therefore I could never remember a word of these things because in my mind there was no reason for knowing these things. And throughout the life, wherever anything was learned and like this, mind never remembers. It sometimes doesn't pay attention, and if it pays attention, hoping for something to happen, it certainly doesn't remember. Now that being the case, they say that Brahma Jnanam falls in that category, Siddhartha Jnanatvat. Because see that knowledge can have meaning in itself, that is not accepted here, understand? That knowledge should always serve the purpose of karma. This is how they are all karmathas. And the firm conviction is, it is karma or it is action which is a means for accomplishment of the welfare in our life. That by sitting here, and by just knowing things, so 100 ideas known are nothing to you. One idea implemented is greater than 100 ideas known to you. So the implementation thing is so much ingrained in that this rule is extended to everything. There is nothing in the world which can ever give you any kind of a benefit merely by knowing. So they say that Siddhartha Jnanatva, that you are Brahma, or there is Brahma, or Brahma is such and such, or everything is Brahman. It is something, it reveals something that is already known to us in the ever. There is no reason, there is no phala. What is phala? Nothing is accomplished by that. I am no better than what I am, or I am not happier, whatever it is, there was nothing is accomplished. Sammatvaka. Like this Meru business that you are talking about, we don't really consider it much as pramana for the simple reason that it also does not, suppose it creates in you the desire that you want to go there. Suppose you describe Kailasa or something like that. Then if somebody who would want to go, you show the slide and stuff like that, people are thrilled, they want to go there. Or Amaranatha, whatever. Then that knowledge has served the purpose. But if you show them everything else and then nothing happens, that means what? Your communication has failed. Similarly, this knowledge of Meru, etc., falls in that category, that it doesn't create any results, and therefore your Brahma Jnanam is in the same category as this Meru Jnanam. Iti Anumana, this Anumana. So by Anumana, this Pramanyam is dismissed. That what is the criterion of Pramanam? That knowledge must be what? Saphalam. That is called Pramanam, which creates a knowledge. So they are adding different criteria to Praman. What is called valid knowledge? We just say that valid knowledge is that which cannot be negated, which cannot be false. Abhāsitam jnana. And anadhikatam, we say that for which this is a unique means of knowledge, and the knowledge that cannot be negated or falsified is called Pramana. And anything that creates that knowledge is called Pramanam. We simplify the definition of Praman. They add so many things in there. And that's why these discussions. What is valid knowledge? Is it necessary that other qualifications should be there in there? According to them, the knowledge is valid only when it creates in you some response. So, iti anuma, since this knowledge does not create in you any kind of a response, therefore, or doesn't do any good to you, therefore, it is not called valid knowledge. And therefore, this vakya is not pramanam. Pramanam is that which is pramakaranam, that which creates valid knowledge. Inasmuch as this does not create valid knowledge, therefore this vakya is not pramanam, meaning swartha pramanyam is not there. They are pramanam in an indirect way, but they do not have pramanyam in their own self. Similarly, Vedantas do not have pramanyam by themselves. They have pramanyam in as much as they serve the purpose of karmakanda, etc. This is how they will. See this Meru and all of this description, they will serve the purpose of something. If Vedas talk about it, there must be a reason. So they'll connect it somewhere. Every Vakya will be connected. Because Vedas cannot say something that is redundant or useless or, this Shraddha they have, that reverence they have. So every Vakya is classified by them properly. And that is connected with Pramana, either Swarte Pramanyam or Pararte Pramanyam or whatever. Tattvamadehe Siddharthasya Ayuktam Manatvam iti Śāṅkare. And therefore, Vakya says Tattvamasi, etc. also Siddharthasya, in as much as they convey something that is already existing, that I am Brahma or whatever, therefore they are not Pramanam. Because they do not create Prama. And what is Prama? Prama, or the valid knowledge that which is suffering, which has a result or some purpose to be accomplished. Since this knowledge does not accomplish any purpose, therefore it is not valid knowledge, therefore the Vakyas conveying the knowledge are not Pramana. Iti Śāṅkarabhāṣya Bṛhadāraṇyaka. Bhāṣyakara says, Bṛhadāraṇyaka jnānavata paramatma jnāne prayojan abhāvāt ayuktam iti chet. Bṛhadāraṇyaka jnānavat, you are quite right, like Yasti Merur Varna Chatushtayo Vedaha, and this knowledge, just as it doesn't, help me in any way, or it doesn't enable me to accomplish. Which only conveys something which is already existing, that knowledge is not Pramanam, only because that knowledge does not serve any purpose at all. This is your question. Then, Shruti Virodhena Anumanam Dhunite Nirasyate. So he says, no, Shruti says that this knowledge has a result. So you cannot say it does not have a result. You cannot insist that Brahmajnanam is Nishphalam, meaning that it does not serve any purpose. If Vedas, Upanishad itself says it serves a purpose, and therefore you cannot say that this is Nishphalam. So what is the phalam? Says Bhashya, Na Brahma Vidapnoti Param Vidyate Hridaya Granthi Iti Phalashravana. It's not right that Brahmajnanam doesn't serve any purpose. It does serve the purpose. What? Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. Upanishad says all the knots of the heart are cut asunder. Or Brahmavid apnodi param. The knower of Brahman attains the limitless. So therefore, knower of Brahman attains the limitless. So that's a very, very appropriate example. Brahmavid apnodi param. Brahmavid, the knower of Brahman attains param or supreme. That's all, just a knower of Brahman. So that statement says attainment of the param is immediate result of knowledge, nothing else involved there. Brahmavid param apnodi. Who attains param or the limitless? Brahmavid, the knower of Brahman. Meaning by the knowledge of Brahman, one attains param. So that's the result. Who doesn't want to attain the limitless? Everyone wants it. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi Tasmin Drishte Paravare. Says Mundaka Upaniṣad, Tasmin Drishte Paravare. When that Paramatma is para and avara, when is known, the Paramatma is Karya, Karan and beyond both, when that Paramatma is known, Hridaya Granthi Vidyate, then all the knots of the heart are cut asunder. And therefore, Shruti does say that this is a benefit, and therefore, these Vakyas are Pramana. Vidvat Anubhava Virodhācha Na Evam Ityaha. And also, there is a Vidvat Anubhava Virodha. Says footnote number 16 on the page 84. Anumane Shrutivādam Avatarya Tatreva Pratyakshvādam api avatarayati Vidvat Anubhavati. The Anumana that they have presented, Vimadam Nishphalam Siddhartha Jnanatva, that Anumanam is now, first of all, has been dismissed by the statement of the Shruti, and the same Anumanam now is being dismissed by Vidvat Anubhava, or the experience of the wise. So, Anandagiri says, Vidvat Anubhava Virodhācha na evam. What you say that the Brahmajnanam does not have any purpose to serve, that is contradicted by the experience of the wise, that the wise say that a great purpose is served by the knowledge of Brahman. So Bhāṣyakara says, Samsara iti samsara bija avidyādi dosha nivritti darshanācca. Darshanācca, this is what we find. We find this. That the Vidwan, the wise man, is what? That is the avidyādi dosha nivritti, samsara bija. We find that the wise people, wise person is free from samsara. What is samsara? Avidyādi samsara bija, avidyādi dosha. Avidya, kama, karma, which is the bija, or the very seed for samsara, meaning a life of birth and death. Nivritti. We find that the wise people are free from samsara of this nature, of any nature, and therefore there is what we call the evidence. So avidyādi adina avidyākārim shoka mohādi grāhyam, that they are free from shoka, moha, etc. So tatra ko moha kas shoka. So this is the experience of the wise, that they are free from shoka and moha. And therefore the Brahma Jnanam has the evident result, which you cannot deny. Darshanācca, footnote number 2. Vakya jnanodayanantarameva tat phalasya shokādi vimokasya pratyakshatvat tad viruddham anumanam na udayati ityartha. That as soon as the knowledge of this statement takes place, then we find that the wise man is free from shoka moha, and therefore you cannot dismiss this practical experience by your inference. So pratyaksha cannot be dismissed by anumana. Pratyaksha is always stronger, and Shruti is the strongest. So his anumana has been dismissed by two. First by Shruti and second by the Anubhava. But you must be sure that all these sentences have a different meaning for them. You know, this Vidyate Hridaya Granthi, Brahma Viditatmananda Param, you think that you understand in a certain way, but they have their own explanation about it. So don't think that just because Phalashruti is there, that you have to accept, you have to take it. Very often it is exaggerated. Swamiji exaggerates. Sometimes people say things which is not meant that way, no? Sometimes Phala is also told. Sometimes even the result is also described. That result also may not have been taken in a primary sense. Even that Phala also, that Phalashruti, or the result that we are told of a particular knowledge, may also have a different purpose. Perhaps to again prompt him to do something. And therefore, he says here, says Anagiri, Phalashrutehe arthavadattvena amanatvat. The Phalashruti, this Vidyate Hridaya Granthi is arthavada, he says, you know. Arthavada means, it doesn't have pramana in swartha, but it serves the purpose of some karma. Therefore, Anumana Abhadagata. And therefore, this Phalashruti of the Vedas does not in any way contradict our Anumanam, because the Phala is not, don't really don't be deceived by this. Don't fall for this. When you hear this kind of Phala, that you are free from Shoka, Moha, don't fall for, don't take it literally. This is what I heard in one Sabha also. All Agnihotris assembled there, and they were saying, in Mundaka Upaniṣad also, they will talk of ehi, those sentences where this karma, then this person is received this Swarga, they are the primary sentence for them. He says, who can get Brahma Jnanam? Nobody can get it. So those passages talking about Brahma Jnanam should be only, should not be taken seriously. And therefore, this person also says, don't take these statements seriously. Because it is not meant to be meant literally. Because it is Arthavada. If Arthavada, if it doesn't really happen, the Hridaya Granthis are not broken, cut asunder, Shoka Moha does not go, then of course it is not a Pramana Vakya. Ityāsaṅkya ananyayati, says Bhāshyakara, ananyasheshatvaca tajñānasya jihvāmiva phalashrutehe arthavadatva anuvapattihi. Ananyasheshatvaca tajñānasya. Tajñānasya brahmajñānasya. That brahmajñāna is ananyashesham. Anyashesham means that which serves the purpose of something else. So very often when you know about things, Suppose you study all this engineering, medicine and what it is. So they have to serve purpose of something else, so that you can get a job and then things like that. So lot of this knowledge that we receive in the universities and whatnot has a purpose that we can do some kind of a occupation, that we can make some livelihood or what it is. That is the purpose of that knowledge. So all that knowledge serves the purpose of something else, namely some kind of karma or earning livelihood and whatnot. Otherwise, what is the big deal about knowing how to make a machine or how it works and so what does it matter? But that knowledge enables you to design the machines, and that is how you will be able to produce something, and that is how something will be produced. So all that knowledge serves the purpose of, that is called Anyashesham. The knowledge which serves the purpose of some karma is called, the Shesham means it serves the purpose of something else. And we say that Brahma Jnanam does not serve the purpose of any karma. Because you do not find in the Vedas these Vakyas being presented as a part of some kind of a ritual. They can do that anyway, but then these Vakyas, they don't form part of the rituals, and also by this knowledge it doesn't help you in any way in performing a ritual or whatever. Therefore these Vakyas do not serve the purpose of karma. Therefore this Phalashruti is different from some other Phalashruti. There are some Phalashrutis, Juhvamiva, so Juhu. So therefore there is a Vakya there which is footnote number, where are we? Footnote number 4, boy. But then I want to point out here this line which is in that third footnote, the fifth line or fourth line. Yasya paranamayi juhur bhavati nasa papam shlokam shunate. So alright, juhu means a ladder, a chamas. So it is said, Yasya paranamayi juhur bhavati nasa papam shlokam shranate. So whoever in a particular, in performance of yaga, whoever uses that ladle or chamas which is made of palasha, this parna. So whenever a juhu or a chamas or a ladle made of palasha is used in a particular yaga, nasa papam shlokam shranoti. He never hears any ninda. Papa means he never hears any ninda. He becomes free from ninda. This is the result. Imagine that one who uses a ladle made of palasha tree or palasha wood, then he becomes free from any kind of papam shlokam nashanodi. He doesn't hear a verse which is of the nature of ninda. So this is a phala of using a ladle made of palasha. Then all these analyses are made. Then other sentences are also quoted there. Now then subsequently Siddhantayadi. See afterwards Purush Sambandhi Phalasya Pratibhanat Purushasatvena Vidiyante Yadi Prapte. Some people say that this is to be taken literally. Then the Siddhanta is there, Siddhantayadi. Dravya Samskara Karma Vidishu Kramena Udaharta Vakyeshu Phalashranam Arthavadaha. Dravya, such as ladle, samskara. So you clean your eyes, with some, what do you call it? With a particular kind of anjanam, samskara, and perform a certain karma such as prayada. So where the Shruti, Phala Shruti is there, says Phalashranam Arthavadaha. That phala is to be taken as Arthavada. Why? Parasatvad. Because it really is not literally because you use a chamas or a ladle made of this palasha that this happens. But kratu sambandha. So says paranamayitvadinam kratvarsatvad ityartha. That when you use then that is, so they are encouraging you to use a ladle made of this palasha vriksha, then alone that karma will have a certain kind of a result. And therefore they tell you that if you use palasha vriksha, that ladle made of that, then this is what will happen. And so saying, you are encouraged to use a ladle made of palasha vriksha for a particular yaga. And that yaga becomes more efficacious. Therefore this statement that the use of palasha vriksha gives you a certain result is not really a result of that this ladle of Palasha Vriksha, but the result that you perhaps get by performing a certain yaga. And therefore, even these Phalashrutis that you find in Vedas are not to be taken literally, they are also Arthvada. So the Purva Pakshi says, this Vidyate, Hridaya Granthi, all of that falls in that category, And therefore, Brahmavida Apnoti Param also is Anya Shesha in as much as Saraswati Parvata. Because when this fellow is told you are Brahman, then that is samskara. So this person who is going to perform the yaga should thus meditate or thus think, I am Brahman, I am Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta, I am Satchidananda. When you think like that, there is Atma is Samskrita. There is samskara upon the Atma, and then when you perform the yaga becomes more efficacious. And therefore, all these Upaniṣad Vakyas only have this purpose to serve. Therefore, they are called Anya Shesha. They only serve the purpose of karma. And similarly, therefore, don't take these Shrutis literally. That's what they will tell their students. Don't take this literally. Tatra ko moha ko kashoka. Not here. In Swarga it may be so. And that is how they are not to be taken in their primary sense. That's all. Bhashyakara says, no, this Phalashruti is not like that Phalashruti, and therefore this is to be taken in the primary sense. Arthavadatva Anupattihi. Therefore, these Phalashrutis cannot be classified as Arthavada. Sri Anandagiri Paranamayitva Adhikarananyayana Jihvam Phalashrutehe Arthavadatvam Yuktam. That in that Adhikaranam, in the Mimamsa Shastra, which is called Paranamai Adhikaranam, in that particular discussion of that topic, it has been established how that Phalashruti and other Phalashrutis are Arthavada, so it is quite proper to accept them as Arthavada. Brahmadiyah Anyasheshatva Prapakatva Bhavat Tat Phalashrutehe Arthavadatva Siddhiti. However, as far as Brahmadiyah, about the knowledge of Brahma is concerned, and the result of that knowledge that we hear or that the Shruti tells us, Anyasheshatva Prapakatva Prapaka Bhava. There is nothing, no other statement which enables you to connect this Shruti with something else. Now, there that Nyaya, in that Mimamsa, they discuss how some other statements give you a hint as to how that Phalashruti is not to be taken literally, but is to be connected with something else. In that sense, suppose you are told in a certain karma, in a certain ritual, that the Atma is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. When Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma performs this ritual, then he goes to heavens. Suppose you are told that, then you will accept that the Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta that you are told in Upaniṣad is meant for that karma, because that is where such an Atma is required. Or when Nitya Shuddha Buddha Atma performs his action, then such and such result comes. Then we will say that Atma, that description of Atma being Nitya Shuddha is only Arthavada, serving the purpose of this karma. Anya Shesha is there. But we do not find that in any karma says that Atma must be Brahma or Nitya Shuddha or Mukta for him to perform the ritual. We never find that kind of a adhikari description anywhere. Therefore we say that this knowledge of Atma doesn't serve any purpose, meaning that is called Anya Sheshatva Prapakam Pramanam. If there is another Pramana Vakya or another statement in the Vedas which connects Atma such as this with some kind of a karma, then we would say that this Phalashruti is Arthavada, but we do not find such a description, and therefore there is nothing that will connect this statement of Brahmavida Apnoti Param, etc., with some karma even in a remote way, and therefore those statements stand on their own, and therefore those Phalashrutis are also to be taken in a primary sense. Arthavadatva Asiddhi, meaning that if you apply the same criteria that has been applied in the Paranamai Adhikaranam, that criteria is not applicable to this Phalashruti. It is not that because it is Phalashruti, because it is Arthavada, but if the Phalashruti is connected with some other karma, then alone it is called Arthavada. Such a connection is not being there, therefore this is not Arthavada. That's the idea. Then says Anandagiri, Anyatha Shariraka Anarambhasyadityartha. Anyatha, if you accept this Phalashruti as Arthavada, then Shariraka, meaning Brahma Sutra Shastra, would make no sense at all. But Bṛhadāraṇyaka, that is also one of the points made in Brahma Sutra, that since Bṛhadāraṇyaka, who is accepted by us as Sarvajña Kalpa, who is omniscient, so he thought it fit to start another Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa in the form of Brahma Sutra, therefore it must be a separate topic. That is how Bhāshyakara proved the Anadhigatattvam. How Brahma has not been dealt with in the Purva Mimamsa, because Bṛhadāraṇyaka thought it necessary to commence this Uttara Mimamsa. And therefore he must have realized that Brahma has not been dealt with in the Purva Mimamsa, and therefore Brahma is Anadhigatam. So Anyatha Sharirika Anārambhasyāt. Otherwise there would be no need to do independent Mimamsa of Brahma. If the Brahma Mimamsa was already done, by saying that the Vakyas of Brahma are Arthavada or Anyashesha, then Brahma Mimamsa is already done, then there would be no need to start Brahma Mimamsa, but it has been started. That shows that they are the statements which are pramana by themselves. Continues Anandagiri, Shrutyanubhavabhyam Vakyotha Jnanasya Phalavatva Drushtehe. Thus by the Shruti, Vidyate Hruday Grandhi, Brahma Vidapnodi Param, and by also the Anuvidvat Anubhava, from the experience of the Vidwan, it is Vakyotha Jnanasya Phalavatva Drushtehe. It is established here that the knowledge that is the result of this Mahavakya is fruitful or serves the purpose of life. Yukta Karya Asprashte Swarte Tattvamasyadehe Manata. And therefore, such statements of Tattvamade etc. are pramana. Even though they are Karya Asprashta, even though they are unconnected with Karya or Karma, but since they generate knowledge which is valid knowledge, and knowledge that is fruitful knowledge, therefore Tattvamasi etc. these Vakyas are also Pramana Vakyas. Manata iti uktam, this has been said. Samprati, now another argument is given. Shastrasya Karyaparatva Aniyame Hetvantaram Aha. Now Bhāshyakara presents another Hetu, another very technical Hetu. Another reason also is being said that there is no rule that Shastra is Karyaparam. There is no rule that even your statements of Karmakanda can necessarily be construed as creating a response in terms of activity. Is not so. Even the statements which are called Pramana Vakyas in Karmakanda, we will show that even those, there is a class of statements called Nisheda Vakya. This point also was discussed in the Chatussutri, Brahma Sutra. The Nisheda Vakyas, Na Himsyat Sarva Bhutani Kalanjam Na Bhakshayet. So these statements, in fact, do not create any response in terms of an activity. All it does is, it only brings about a cessation of an activity. The argument that will be made is that when somebody sees kalanjam or some food which is prohibited in the scriptures, and scriptures prohibit things because there is a spiritual purpose behind it. When they prohibit meat and onion and garlic or whatever they prohibit, it's not because they are not tasty and that because they don't, but because they do some harm, and not even physical harm, some kind of a from spiritual standpoint, some harm is done. Or from an overall well-being, some harm is done. Even though Ayurveda will say that if you eat garlic, it helps your heart and so on, which is valid, I am sure. And still garlic, many people will not eat because heart is not the only consideration, there are some other considerations in life also. And from those considerations, that thing is unaccepted. Therefore, the Vedas prohibit many things which are considered to be harmful to us, but from the standpoint of our ultimate purpose in life. From the standpoint of Artha Kama, things may be useful, but from the standpoint of Dharma, if a thing is not useful or if it is harmful, in that case, the Shastra prohibits that. And we have no way of knowing whether some kind of an action is in accordance with Dharma or not, because we do not know everything about Dharma. So as far as Dharma is concerned, we have to depend upon the Shastra. So Shastra teaches us Dharma. Because Dharma is always Apaurushaya. Apaurushaya means that which does not fall within the fold of the human intellect. And that being the case, what to eat, what not to eat, and how to do things, how not to do, very often, all of these are told by the Shastra. Yes, there is what we call a common sense Dharma. that since I do not want to be hurt, I should not hurt other people, etc. But there is dharma, which is not common sense dharma. Whether I like to eat meat, then everybody should to eat meat, so I serve everybody, then that is still not dharma. And therefore, where common sense does not work, that is where the Vedas have pramanyam. And even when common sense works, still the common sense doesn't tell me why the common sense is there. There again also the Vedas become pramana. So kalanjam namakshe. You should not eat flesh of an animal. What is kalanjam? Is a red meat of an animal which has been killed by a poisonous arrow. It's a very peculiar thing. Nobody will eat it anyway, but then, so kalanjam doesn't mean any meat. Although we always present the statement that the Vedas prohibit eating meat, Vedas really say kalanjam na bhakshe. Kalanjam means meat of an animal which has been killed by a poisoned arrow or a poisoned weapon, meaning poisoned arrow. So sometimes, I don't know why they do that, but sometimes the hunters may want maybe skin and stuff like that. So they may kill an animal with a poison arrow, and then that flesh may be given to you, and your mouth is watering seeing that meat, and therefore you may want to eat it. So that is swabhavika vritti. So when you see certain food, like pav bhaji and stuff like that, then immediately there is an inspiration to eat. But then if we tell him that where does it come from, have you seen from which stall he is brought and stuff like that, don't eat it. Next day you are going to have jaundice, So when we say that don't eat that food because it has come from such and such source, then the swabhavika vritti that this fellow had to consume that food, because the food created in him an impulse to eat it. And thus many impulses are created within us by the world. World constantly presents to us variety of objects. And we have all these senses, and therefore impulses are constantly created in us. Should we follow our impulses? Shastra says no. Sometimes, or very rarely, your impulse may be okay, then you follow it. But more often than not, those impulses are not in keeping with your own well-being. It is not that Shastra only wants to command us and wants to control us, but Shastra tells us what is for our own welfare. Inasmuch as we are not able to appreciate where our own welfare is, that is where Shastra tells us, like a parent telling a child. Child might want to put anything in the mouth and the father or mother may stop it. Child may not like that mother. Or the mother may want the child to eat that, take that bitter medicine, which also child may not like. So the impulse is to throw away that is bitter and eat anything that is sweet, which impulse may be harmful to that person. And similarly also, we have many impulses in our own selves which are harmful to us, and therefore Shastra asks us to control the impulse. So what does the Nisheda Vakya do? This is now being debated subsequently, because there are opinions about that also. That when a Nisheda Vakya is heard, kalanjam na bhakshaye, don't eat this meat, or that meat should not be eaten. When this Vakya is heard, suram na piber, that one should not drink alcohol, or whatever, then what does it do to a person? One opinion is, it creates in him an activity of not drinking. So what happens to this person? How do you understand it? One opinion, the opinion of Bṛhadāraṇyaka again, is that when you hear this statement, suram na piber, don't drink alcohol, it creates in you an activity of not doing. And therefore, that statement also creates a response in the form of an action, and therefore it is pramana vakya. Whereas Bhatta says, and which also we accept, that this Nisheda Vakyas do not create in you any activity. On the other hand, the impulse that was created on account of seeing something, on account of coming in contact with something, a natural impulse that was created, when we hear this should not be done, then that impulse subsides. So there is merely a subsiding of an impulse, meaning a nivritti or cessation of an impulse is there, and not a positive response from me. There is no response or effort from me. The impulse that I had created by its own nature just subsides. There is a cessation of an impulse and not any effort required on my part. This is the idea. Of course, that is also a question. Depends on how much reverence you have for the Vedas. That's why it is important. It may require a lot of effort to contain that impulse also, But if I have such a great reverence for Vedas, that for me Vedas are Pramāṇavākya. That samskara is there in me, that what the Vedas say are definitely for my well-being. There is no question in me. If those samskaras are there in such a person, when that person hears the statement, Suram na pavet, Kalanjam na bhakshayet, then in him what happens is a cessation of that impulse. If I feel that I am being commanded by the Vedas, then I will have to make I will have to make an effort to control the impulse. But if I know that what is being told to me is for my own welfare, then since welfare is something that everybody likes, therefore no efforts to be made to control that. That is what we call a cessation of that impulse. If I know that I have diabetes and eating a given thing is going to be harmful to me, I know that samskara is there and I accept it also. But still when I see a piece of sweet meat, then this impulse will be created. Momentarily I come in the spell of the impulse. Then I am reminded, no Swami, that's not for you. Then I remember. Then I understand, that's right, that is correct. Therefore, when I say that is correct, if I say it is not correct, then I will want it. And if I am not given, I may have to suppress my impulse. But when I am told that's not for you, then what happens? I realize, yes, that's right. And when that is right, that impulse subsides. Okay. So, is there an effort involved on the part of the person when he hears Nishedavakya or not, is a debate. And the Bhatta says, and the Vedantin also says, that no effort is required on the part of the listener of the Nishedavakya, merely the impulse that has been created, which was a natural impulse. And natural is that which is in contradiction to Shastra is called natural. If your impulses are in keeping with Shastra, that is called Shastriya impulse. But if your impulses are something that goes against Shastra, is called Swabhavika impulse. That Shastra Vakya. And because of samskaras that I have the Shastra, therefore, when I hear that or when the Smaranam comes, sometimes nobody has to tell me. I myself remember, Kalanjam na bhakshe. Okay, then impulse subsides. So momentarily impulse came, then I look at my cloth, then impulse subsides, Really, you can do that. And so, that is how so all of this is Nishedha Vakya is there, Moment you wear certain cloth, lot of Nishedha is there. Of course, lot of Vidhi is also there, and lot of Nishedha. That everybody should understand. Whenever they wear anything, it should be known that Vidhi and Nishedha, a whole samskara is involved there. That's why this is a reminder of the Shastra. So when the Smriti comes, that's it. Not for me. It's not I cannot do that. I don't want to do it. If I cannot do it, then effort is involved. When I realize I don't want to do it, then of course, if I am wearing this cloth with a conviction that I accept as my own convictions whatever is stated, or whatever is meant by this, if the conviction of this is my own conviction, then this will be a reminder of my own conviction, in which case there is a cessation of the impulse. If this is taken as an exercise or as a value, but not an assimilated value, then again every time this keeps on telling me, and ever I contain the impulse, then it becomes a discipline. That's a different thing. But then otherwise, it is merely a cessation of the impulse. So they will say, when he remembers, he sees Kalanja. There is an impulse to eat it. He remembers, Kalanjam na bhakshayet. Immediately, that sentence flashes in his mind, and his samskaras will bring about a cessation of the impulse. And therefore, for the person who has the samskaras of this, in him there is no activity, there is merely a cessation of an activity, and therefore, Nishedha Vakyas do not create an activity. And still you call them as Pramanam. Therefore, a Pramana Vakya does not generate necessarily a response for activity. Therefore, Here the Vedantin gives the illustration of Nishedha Vakyas which are accepted as Pramanam by the Purvapakshi and shows how the Nishedha Vakya does not create a response in terms of an activity. Therefore your contention that only that is Pramana Vakya that creates a response in terms of activity, that is not, that contention is not right. On his own ground he is being answered. So this is the trend of discussion now that takes place subsequently. On the page 86, Pratisiddha Anishta Phala Sambandhascha Vedādeva Vijñāyate. Pratisiddha Anishta Phala Sambandhascha Vedādeva Vijñāyate. This Sambandha, important here is Sambandha. Sambandha means connection. What connection? Anishta Phala Sambandha. Connection with Anishta or undesirable Phala, undesirable consequences. Pratisiddha, whenever there is a Vakya of Pratishedha, meaning a prohibitory sentence, I guess. A sentence which prohibits something. Like Kalanjamna Bhak, that's a sentence that is taken for discussion there. So all the time you find that sentence coming up, Kalanjamna Bhakshet. So the Mimamsa, in the Jaimini, and then again Shavara, the Bhashyakara there took this statement, Kalanjamna Bhakshet. There of course to analyze the meaning of this na, na Bhakshet. So all those statements, what do they do? But anyway, whenever there is a statement such as Kalanjamna Bhakshet, it is called Pratishedha. What does it do? Anishta Phala Sambandha. From that Vakya of prohibition, that is what we call Anishta Phala, an undesirable consequence. And Sambandha, that Kalanja Bhakshanam, different kinds of Sambandhas are there. Says footnote number 1, Pratisiddha ityadi. Pratisiddhasya yad anishtam phalam tat sambandha ityatah. So that which is prohibited, since it brings about undesirable consequences, the sambandha or a connection with that is called Pratisiddha Phala Sambandha, Anishta Phala Sambandha. Says Hananadehe Anishta Phala Sambandha na hanyādi vedādeva jñāyate. Hananadehe na himsyāt sarva bhūtāni. One should not hurt any living being. That means, what do we understand? Hurting any living being is going to bring about undesirable consequences for me. Meaning going to hell and stuff like that, Anishta Phala Sambandha na hanyāditi vedādeva jñāyate. How do you know that? Mosquito, you kill like, impulsively. Na himsyāt. Then, I don't see anything wrong happening to a mosquito, killing mosquito. When you kill a mosquito, only desirable things have to happen that you are free now, you can sleep well. Or all those bed bugs, So it's very convenient to take all those bed bugs and place them all in kerosene one by one, and then send them to Swarga. But then, that is himsa. So when I am ready to do that, because I am so bothered, I am woken up at 1:30 at night by all these bed bugs, and the only impulse is to take care of them, And when I am about to do that, I remember the sentence, na himsa. And I am not, you see, the himsa, the only thing I am interested is dukkha nivrutti and sukha prapti, that's all. That's what I am interested. Now this killing of bed bug, the Vedas says anishta sadhana, meaning it's going to bring about a lot of pain, And when I accept it, if I don't accept it, I don't care about it. I will see it when it comes to it. Then person doesn't bother. Very often you don't bother about it. Says I will see when it comes to it. Or I don't bother, I don't care for it. In that case, you proceed to do what you are doing. That's how most people continue to do what they are doing anyway. I don't mind. I don't mind if they punish me, I don't mind. But in the people who are brought up in the Vedic culture, the samskaras are so strong that they mind, you see. We are talking about those fellows for whom it is, otherwise it is not a pramana vakya anyway. This Veda vakya is not pramana unless a proper samskara is there in the fellow who studies Vedas. It's not pramana for everybody. Every Vakya is not pramana for everybody. A Vakya is pramana for the one for whom the proper samskaras are there. Even Tattvamasi is not pramana unless the right samskaras are there. And similarly, any Vakya becomes pramana only when samskaras are there. Similarly also, this Pratisheda Vakyas are pramana, not for everybody perhaps, but for the one who is the right samskaras. In him that sambandha is created. What is it? Anishtava sambandha. Hey, this is the means of my own hurt. This will hurt me. It will bring about undesirable consequences. Nahanyadi vedadeva jnayate. By the Veda Vakya alone, that kind of sambandha is created. Nacha tasya karyada shankinabi shakyate. And that sambandha, that knowledge that is generated in me, that doesn't create any impulse to do something. On the other hand, it brings about a cessation of the impulse of killing that bed bug, I stopped, I said, okay, then I place it, do something about it, or I go away from there. Ultimately, you sleep outside and let the bed bug occupy the bed. Something like that you will do. What else can you do? And so, then you will take an action which somehow brings about a cessation of that impulse, and then you do something, and you do whatever is required in order to stay away from killing those bad bugs. But it is not a very clear-cut case, it is a debatable case, as I say, So this particular condition is there when these samskaras are there. In that condition, when the samskaras are not there, then it's what again, Then every time you meet red light, again you say, what? Again red light. And this ashram road is a miserable road. Every time you only encounter red. So the traffic lights are meant for people's best safety. People resent it. Red light, every time red light. All these people don't know how to install it, and all kinds of debates and all kinds of charcha goes on. Because we do not want any restriction. I want that I should travel on the road or ride on the road as I like, and therefore, that being the case, that's the kind of training we have. So a traffic light becomes a big problem for us. But those who are brought up in traffic lights, go to the United States. And there even a stop sign means you should stop. It's samskara. Even at 2:30 at night, the fellow is traveling, riding in the car, he's driving car, he sees a stop sign, he stops. At 2:30 there's no traffic, but still. Frenchmen will not stop there. So no, these things have to be taken for practical values, and therefore they will invent a computer, they will devise a computer which at night makes this light function in a different way, so that every time stop this light, after a certain point. These lights are a nuisance, or they create accidents, that's how they will, and you argue, whatever it is. But when the samskaras are there, people will stop because there is a stop sign. So you see the sambandha is connected. Stop sign is to sadhanam. A stopping is desirable for me. So the moment you see the stop sign, immediately sambandha of desirability flashes in your mind, and it creates in you a certain activity or a cessation of an activity. If you are in a hurry, so activities to drive past the stop sign, immediately the impulse is ceased. Cessation of the impulse comes. The moment you see the stop sign, the impulse ceases. If the right samskaras are there, right samskara is not there, you resent the stop sign, that means the stop sign is not taken by you as pramanam, then then you are out of fear, then you may have to take an action of screeching the brake and stuff like that, That's what you find in India all the time, because that brake shows his resistance, or it shows his opposition, or whatever. Otherwise, you drive in such a manner that right there you stop. Then it shows that he is accepted there as a pramana. So whether these things are accepted, so samskaras, if the right samskaras are there, then they act as pramana, in which case a certain kind of response comes. Nai nisheda gamyam nisiddha anishta sambandham tat samskrutah anutishtati. See that? Nai nisheda gamyam. So that which is communicated by nisheda vakya, nisiddha anishta sambandham, for which sambandha anishta sambandha, or a connection with something, some undesirable consequences there, tat samskrutah nanutishtati. So one with the right samskara, brought up in a certain way, he will not even think of transgressing, the command of the Vedas. So we say he is a God-fearing man, meaning the one who will not think of transgressing the rules of the life, commands of God. And here also, the one who has this kind of samskaras will not even think of transgressing those commands. And atah nisheda vakyānām karya anapekṣanānām abhi mānatvad. Therefore, in nisheda vakya, there is no apeksha or expectancy. You don't ask, what should I do? You see the stop sign, what should I do? No expectancy is there, automatically the cessation is there. So apeksha is there. What am I supposed to do? What should I do? How should I do? Why should I do? These questions don't arise in you. If they arise in you, meaning that some karya, karam kriya is there. When this expectancy does not arise, you see a soft sign, no expectancy. Automatically your foot pedal goes on the brake, that's it. Then no effort is required on your part. If an effort is required, a deliberate effort is required on your part, then we say that it is action. If there is no deliberate effort, then it is not an action. You see, there is no deliberate effort. You see the stop sign, automatically, as in your second nature, you stop it. In that case, that stop sign has created in you the sambandha of anishtaphalatvam, and therefore, or ishtaphalatvam, whatever it is. And therefore, there is no expectancy on your part, no apeksha of instructing you or apeksha of doing something. Atah nisheda vakyānām karya anapekṣanānām api mānatvad. So just as nisheda vakyas which do not have the apeksha of the karya in the one in whom the right samskaras are there, na karya paratva niyamah shastrasya, that should be na added there, I am sure. Na karya paratva niyamah shastrasya iti bhāvah. So we cannot say that Shastra, there is a niyama or rule that there must be karya paratvam in the Shastra. That a pramana vakya is pramanam only because karya paratvam or some kind of activity is there.